All right, folks, you're watching it here live. This is the live U.S. Senate right now, folks. Welcome in here. This is the American Firearms Association. We're broadcasting over a lot of different channels right now, but we are watching the live final moments. You can see the votes are 49 yes to 50 no on the repealing the ATF's lawless pistol brace ban. But at this point, Alex, even with a 50 yes, 50 no, this thing is not going to pass. And this does not look good for what started over in the House with such a strong showing over there. What are you thinking, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, we were really expecting Manchin to stand up and play the middle ground like he's done so famously for so long and vote no on this. We also thought it would have been wise for him to do so, considering he's up for re-election this year.
Yeah.
And so we were expecting him to flip on this, as were many Republicans and commentators and political pundits and so forth. But I guess we're just going to have to let everyone know in the state of West Virginia that Manchin's out for throwing him in jail for 10 years for owning a pistol brace.
I guess so Alex, I haven't been one sitting here watching this the entire time, but did Kirsten Sinema from Arizona, did she vote yes?
I did not hear that name. I did not hear that name.
Okay.
A bunch came in at one time, though. So
yeah,
we'll soon find out. But surprisingly, even a lot of the rhinos who voted for gun control last year got wise on this.
Yeah,
and,
Mitt Romney, Lindsey Grahamnesty, a lot of these people, this isn't a shocker. Obviously, some of the Republican politics and Republican Party has moved to the right under Donald Trump, but Marco Rubio, I mean, even for him, Rick Scott, he's the guy who signed, as governor of Florida, he signed all those gun control bills into law. For those two people to be voting the correct way on this, it's a good sign. But I think the gig is up, I should say, on Joe Manchin. Folks, if you live in West Virginia, or if you know somebody in West Virginia, this guy has straddled the middle line for a decade now, pretending that he's a conservative in the Democrat Party, that he's a moderate, that he's a blue dog Democrat. But this is a guy.
Here we go. Audio.
It failed. There it was. There it was. So I don't know who it was who. Let me shut this audio off over here, Alex. So yeah, but if you live in West Virginia, now is the time for gun groups and conservatives all across the country. Honestly, the Democrats control the U.S. Senate chamber by one seat, right? That's how they get to totally steamroll the entire chamber. It's people like Joe Manchin who are allowed to flout their endorsements, to do to hide behind these votes. That's how Chuck Schumer is in power right now. So it's going to be incumbent upon the gun rights community to go into West Virginia and find and recruit a pro-gun candidate and light him up. It's time to primary the guy. It's time to run against him in the general. Yeah, not primary him. We can't primary. You cannot run a pro-gun candidate in the Democrat Party anymore.
No.
This guy has to be lit on fire politically from the conservative right. And now, I guess if there's one good thing that we've seen here about this today is now we have an objective vote that we can go in and prosecute him in the court of public opinion and make him pay for his political sins.
Exactly. And, everyone's telling us if it doesn't fail in the Senate, Joe Biden's already said he's going to veto it. But I don't think people understand that it doesn't operate in a vacuum in DC. Okay. If we're not pushing pro-gun bills, we have left the door open for them to come and shove stuff down our throats. And so we have to continue a constant battering ram of pro-gun legislation up there in DC, in the House, in the Senate, so that way everyone sees that this is the issue. They cannot flip on it. They cannot vote like they did last year on it. But we have to keep the momentum up, but we also have to keep the records coming in.
Yeah, as you guys can see, the final vote was 49 yes, 50 no. That means one senator was absent. Feinstein was there. I heard her name, Feinstein and Shotgun Fetty. They called John Fetterman from Pennsylvania. For those of you who are not familiar with my nickname for him, but they were called in sequential order. So I don't know if there's another U.S. senator out for health reasons right now, or somebody is shirking their duty. I would be so upset to know if that was a Republican who could not make it there today. That would be unconscionable for them.
Yep.
But yeah, folks, like Alex just said, this stuff does not happen in a vacuum. Alex, why don't you write Manchin's phone number on a piece of paper and hold it up on the screen for everybody to see? But this stuff does not happen in a vacuum. We have to press the flesh at every single opportunity that we get. We need to make them pay for every ground they try to take. Today, I guess if you want to look at the positive side of things, as long as we still have the filibuster, today was a good sign as far as being able to defeat an assault weapons ban, for example. They would need 60 votes. Well, on the pistol brace, which, obviously, if you listen to all of them, all the Democrats today label these pistol-braced pistols as assault weapons. Today's vote makes it very clear that it would be a harder vote or harder time for them to try to go to the next step and also outlaw all assault weapons. So,
I'm gonna hold. This is Joe Manchin's DC phone number. Screenshot this if you're watching on your phone. Print screen in front. You're on your computer. This is the right direction. 202-224-3954. Especially if you live in West Virginia, call Joe Manchin's office right now.
Rip into his ass
and just let him have it.
Yeah.
Just say, you want me to go to jail for a decade for owning a piece of plastic that I've been told for 10 years already that I could own, and now Joe Biden changed his mind. He changed his mind as often. They probably changed his diapers.
Well,
his
chief of staff changed his mind, or they came into office knowing this was on their agenda. They told Joe Biden, this is what you're going to do. And then the chief of staff called the ATF people in and say, okay, this is what you're going to do, or you're going to be fired. And they did it. And now here we are. This now obviously is going to get litigated in the courts. There are tons of lawsuits happening all across America. We are on a lot of those different lawsuits. But this is a good referendum on the Democrats' ability to ram through their gun control. So I guess that's one positive we can take away from this 49 to 50 vote to try to repeal this thing. But it just shows that we in the grassroots have a lot of work to do. We've made some progress here with some of these rhino Republicans, but we've got more work to do on this whole issue. So, Alex, you have anything else you want to add here? I don't really.
No, not at the moment. We'll keep you guys updated on when we get the full tally of who voted and how they voted, just to make sure that there was no crossover and there wasn't a swap from a Democrat for a Republican. But I think
I'd also just say, like, well done, everybody. Some of these rhino Republicans were definitely on the fence on some of this stuff. I mean, I think of John Cornyn. I think of Lindsey Grahamnesty. I think of a lot of those Republicans that crossed over and voted for Joe Biden's gun control agenda last summer, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. I don't think any of them, we're gonna go back and tally the votes here shortly, but I don't think any of them flaked off on this when they easily could have. The reason why is because you guys were just pounding on them day in and day out. People who are watching our videos, people who are taking action off of our massive email deployments. This stuff is because of you guys. Honestly, we know from our sources on Capitol Hill that the entire left-wing machine, the Bloomberg's Radical, Lion Commie Mommy Brigade, Giffords, all the state level groups in all these different states across America, they were putting pressure on on them heavily on some of these rhino Republicans to vote with the Democrats on this, like they did last summer, and we got them to lock up. So, folks, that's your victory today. Unfortunately, this vote did not get passed, but the numbers were actually better than they could have been. So, well done.
Chris, even just more than just the radical left attacking the Republicans and trying to put counter pressure, I was getting alerts from the Lion Commie Mommies calling for action on the Democrats to vote no on this, because the pressure is mounting so bad that even the Democrats were being seen as weak on this.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we certainly
particularly people like Sinema, and people like Joe Manchin and stuff like that, they knew very well that there was a chance that they could flake off. So I guess you can. What the hell is Joe Manchin thinking? I mean, I have family that grew up and was born and raised in West Virginia. I've driven all through the state of West Virginia. I've seen it from one end of the top to the bottom, side to side. I've been everywhere in that state. And what the hell is Joe Manchin thinking? I mean, clearly Bloomberg and company is going to come in and spend millions of dollars trying to defend his dumbass in the next elections. But, you know, they need to pay for something like that. There needs to be a political price put out there amongst the voters of West Virginia. And he needs to answer for these sins. So, again, good job, everybody. This war is not over by any means. Nope. We're obviously still litigating this stuff in the courts. But good play that was run by House Republicans. What's his name from down there in Georgia? Is a guy who, what's his name?
Andrew Clyde.
Yeah, Andrew Clyde. Well done. Well done. Well done playing the House leadership on this whole thing as well. I mean, that's a high class play, and it's something that might benefit gun owners in West Virginia very greatly, simply because Andrew Clyde had the balls to say that this is the right thing to do, and he forced it through the House. And now Joe Manchin is objectively on record saying that he wants hundreds of thousands of West Virginians to be considered felons for owning something that they bought and purchased legally from their local firearms dealer. So well done to Congressman Clyde from Georgia. I hope you get the recognition that you deserve for something like this. So, folks, that's all we've got for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking action. We'll be back with more in the final tally the moment we have them. Have a good